Good day. My name is Queenie Arian Jessen from BSEC M2-A, and I will discuss with you guys what are the types of environmental pollution. But first, let us know what is environmental pollution. So, environmental pollution refers to the introduction of harmful contaminants into the environment, causing adverse effects on living organisms and natural resources. Pollutants are harmful substances released into the environment from human activities. It contributes to various forms of environmental pollution. So, environmental pollution occurs when harmful substances called pollutants enter the environment, causing damage to living things and natural resources. These pollutants, which include chemicals, gases, solid waste, and noise that came from human activities. So, since we already know what is environmental pollution and pollutants, let's proceed to the types of environmental pollution. The first type of environmental pollution is air pollution. Air pollution refers to the presence of harmful substances or pollutants in the air, originating from various human activities and natural sources which can have detrimental effects on human health and the environment. So, environmental pollution happens when the harmful substances enter the air that causes by the human activities and natural sources that will badly affect human health and the environment. So I listed some common pollutants that could affect the air pollution. So these are gaseous pollutants, particulate matter, persistent organic pollutants, and toxic heavy metals. So gaseous pollutants are harmful gases like sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, carbon monoxide, ozone, and volatile organic compounds that come from burning fossil fuels, factories, and vehicles. In particulate matter, these are tiny particles like PM10 and PM2.5 from factories, vehicles, construction, and natural sources like dust and wildfires. And persistent organic pollutants, these are the dangerous chemicals like dioxin, furans, and PCBs from pesticide, industrial waste, and burning materials. Lastly, the toxic heavy metals. Metals like lead, mercury, cadmium, and nickel that came from factories, mining, and burning fossil fuels. So, air pollution can harm both human health and the environment. Its effects on human health are respiratory diseases that causes issues like asthma and bronchitis, and in heart problems that can lead to heart diseases, in nervous system that affects the brain and nerves, and also in cancer that increases the chance of cancer from harmful substances. And its effects on the environment are soil and water pollution. Air pollution pollutes soil and water, damage to plants and ecosystems, hurt plants and disrupts natural system. Acid rain causes soil and water to become more acidic, and also a biodiversity loss, harms wildlife and reduces the variety of life. So to reduce this air pollution, we need to work together by cutting down emissions from cars and factories. Kay mao man jud ni siya ang hinungdan maong magka-air pollution tungod sa mga ipang hatag ani nga mga harmful chemicals, harmful substances. or pollutants. So, therefore, we should use cleaner technologies and practice sustainable habits. So, let's proceed to the second type of environmental pollution, which is called water pollution. Water pollution refers to the contamination of natural water bodies such as rivers, lakes, oceans, and groundwater by harmful substances like chemicals or microorganisms, leading to a degradation of water quality that poses risk to human health and the environment. So, water pollution happens when harmful substances enter the bodies of water, such as rivers, lakes, oceans, and groundwater, that would make the water very, very unsafe. So, there are two sources of water pollution, and these are point source pollution and non point source pollution. So, point source pollution kay nagikani siya sa nagikani siya specifically sa mga factories and how they dispose their waste. So in non-point source pollution is nagikani siya sa mga farm construction sites and storm drains na nagda og pollutants and very different sources. So, water pollution both affects human health and the environment. The contamination of water can help the diseases spread, like for example, cholera, typhoid, and cardia. And also, sa mga taong doon sa industries, for example, mga factories, is doon sila sa high risk of health problem. Kay tungod sa improper waste disposal nga ipagawa sa mga factories niya, if kuan na siya sa water ngadto, this will make the people living nearby get really, really sick. And chemicals in water like lead, arsenic, and pesticide can give you cancer and mess up your hormones, causing serious health problems. And also, if mag-swimming ka sa mga beaches na ay daghang chemicals or mga harmful chemicals, this could make your skin itchy and hard to breathe. Its effects on environment is water pollution can make our aquatic life suffocated and disrupt ecosystem, and toxins build up in predators affecting the food chain, and ang plastic waste na papunta sa ato ang oceans will harm our marine animals and ecosystems. And also, carbon pollution makes ocean acidic, impacting shell-building organisms. Now, let's proceed to the third type of environmental pollution, which is soil pollution. Soil pollution occurs when harmful chemicals and contaminants in soil exceed safe levels, posing risks to health and the environment, whether from human activities or natural sources. So, soil pollution happens when harmful substances in soil gets too high that could badly affect our nature. So, there are types of soil pollutants: biological agents, agricultural practices, radioactive pollutants, urban waste, and industrial waste. So, biological agents are things like bacteria or fungi that can make soil unhealthy for plants and animals. And in agricultural practices, using many chemicals and fertilizers in farming can make the soil less healthy. and radioactive pollutants. Some soils have too much radiation which can dangerous be for living. Urban waste. Trash and chemicals from cities can end up in soil, making it polluted. So, ang mga basura nga gikan sa cities is if i-dump siya sa lugar nga which is butan nato sa bukid nga ibutang dito sa yuta, makakos na siya para mapuyutan ato ang soil. Industrial waste. Factories can release harmful chemicals into the soil, making it also unhealthy. So, there are some examples of soil contaminants. Lead, mercury, arsenic, copper, zinc, nickel. These metals can harm plants, animals, and humans if they're in the soil in high amounts. Kanisang polyaromatic hydrocarbons, mao siya ang chemicals nga mugawas from burning woods, and mao ni siya makakuwasad ni siya para magka-problema ta sa atong health. And herbicides and insecticides, these are chemicals that used to kill weeds and bugs that can be harmful for living things. So let's proceed to the consequences for agriculture, biodiversity, and groundwater quality. And so in agriculture is makakos ang soil pollution para dili motubo ang tanom sa soil. And if motubo ni siya sa polluted soil ang plants, is ig-harvest niya is pwede ni siya magdala of toxins which is bad for human health. And next is biodiversity. Ang soil pollution is makakos ni siya para maguba ang habitat sa mga species, leading them to find another place to live. So in groundwater quality, ang soil contamination, ang soil pollution is makakosad ni siya para maapektuhan ang aquatic life. Okay, once mahugaw ang yuta sa groundwater, it impacts badly on aquatic life, makes water unfit for consumption also. So now, let's proceed to the last type of environmental pollution, which is noise pollution. Noise pollution is defined as any unwanted or disturbing sound, just like what you are hearing, that affects the health and well-being of humans and other organisms. So, ang noise pollution is mao ni siya ang atong mga madunggan nga sakit sa pandungog that will affect our health. I listed some sources of noise pollution. In transportation, nakasuway naman jud tanan nga ma-stuck sa traffic, di ba? Once ma-stuck sa traffic is kanang saba kay ang mga sakyanan and mga tingog sa airplanes, tingog sa trains, and ships contribute significantly to noise pollution. Kani sila mga sabaa is makakontribute ni sila sa noise pollution. Next is industrial activities. In factories, construction sites, and heavy machinery generate loud sounds. So, ang mga mga machine nga naa sa factories or construction sites is maka-cause na siya, mausa na siya source sa noise pollution. So noise pollution can affect in both human health and environment. Exposure to loud noise causes noise-induced hearing loss. Noise pollution contributes to high blood pressure, heart disease, and stress. Loud noises disrupt sleep patterns and lead to sleep disturbances. Constant exposure to noise induces stress, impacting mental health and physical well-being. So, ang noise pollution day is makakause na siya para mawadaan taog hearing. And also, it also make us stress and kanasang ato ang pagtuog is maapektuhan sa siya. Kaya like for example, nagpuyo ka sa kilid sa karsada, tapos night is time of sleeping, then magsige ka kamata-mata tungod sa kasabang giproduce sa mga sakyanan. Kay 24/7 naa adunay sakyanan nga magdagan-dagan sa karsada if naa ka sa cities. So it's really inevitable. So kanang nga noise is maapektuhan jud ang sleeping pattern sa tao, and it will make us stress. And it also affects in the environment. So noise pollution disrupts animal behavior, affecting navigation, feeding, and mating. Loud noises can lead to fewer offspring in some species. Ocean noise impacts whales and dolphins, affecting their communication and ecological abilities. Sonar devices, seismic tests, and industrial activities in the ocean harm marine animals and ecosystem. So, ang behavior sa animals is maapektuhan tungod sa noise pollution. So, that would be all for the types of environmental pollution.
So let us proceed to the global and local trends of environmental pollution. And let's discuss first the major pollutants and their sources on a global scale. First, air pollution. So this is a major pollutants that include particulate matter, or the PM. These are made of solid particles and liquid droplets in the air. Example ani niya kay dust, dirt, smoke, and etc. So nitrogen oxides are the NO sub X, sulfur dioxide SO2, volatile organic compounds are the VOCs, and carbon monoxide CO. So kani si VOC kay mao ni ang mga gases that are emitted into the air from the products or processes of possible nga naay health effects. Uban ani kay maka-irritate sa atong eyes, or ma-inhale nato kay ma-irritate sad nato ang atong tutudlan. O ang worst case scenario ani kay makakause siya og cancer. Sources include industrial emissions, vehicle exhaust, biomass burning, and power generation. So next kay si water pollution. Common pollutants include pathogens, mao ni ang mga infectious microorganisms like virus, bacterium, fungus, ug lain pa. Heavy metals, nutrients such as nitrogen and phosphorus, organic chemicals, and plastics. Sources include untreated sewage, industrial discharge, agricultural runoff, and marine litter. Sunod kay C, soil pollution. So contaminants such as heavy metals, pesticides, industrial chemicals, and waste disposal contribute to soil pollution. So sources include industrial activities, mining, improper waste disposal, and agricultural practices. So next kay si regional variations and hotspots of pollution. So una kay ang urban areas. Mo ni ang mga places na overpopulated. So rapid urbanization and industrialization have led to high levels of air and water pollution in many urban centers worldwide. particularly in developing countries with dense populations and inadequate infrastructure. So, industrial zones, these are regions with heavy industrial activity, such as manufacturing hubs and mining areas, so they often experience severe pollution due to emissions from factories, mining operations, and waste disposal. Agricultural regions, intensive agricultural practices, including the use of fertilizers and pesticides, that leads to water and soil pollution in rural areas, affecting both local ecosystems and downstream water bodies. So, the coastal and marine environments refers to the water bodies. Coastal regions and marine ecosystems are vulnerable to pollution from coastal development. Mao ni ang mga buildings na gipatukod daplin sa dagat para maka-attract og tourists. So, shipping activities, oil spills, and marine debris threatening biodiversity and human health. So let us proceed to the local pollution issues. So pollution challenges specific to the region or area of study. Air pollution in urban areas like Metro Manila due to vehicle emissions and industrial activities. Water pollution in rivers and coastal areas from untreated sewage, industrial discharge, and agricultural runoff. Soil contamination near mining sites and industrial zones. Solid waste pollution, particularly in densely populated urban areas with inadequate waste management infrastructure. So, examples of significant pollution incidents. So, una kay Simar Copper Mine disaster, which happened in Marinduque, Philippines. So, in 1996, a tailings dam failure at the Mark Copper mining site released millions of tons of mine tailings into the Boak River, so causing extensive environmental damage and affecting local communities' health and livelihoods. So, kaning si Marinduque kay mao ni siya isa ni siya ka island wherein ang mga locals kay nag-rely sa pagsasaka ug pangingisda. Mao na ang ilahang panginabuhi. So, pagkahitabuan ning Mark Copper mining disaster, serious health and environmental problems have placed the community at risk. Daw gid kayo sa problema kay ang Boak River na ilang pinaka-source para mangisda, makuha og tubig kay na-poison tungod sa mga mine waste. So, this disaster made a lot of people very sad and angry because it ruined their land and water. So the government had to bring food and clean water to the people because they couldn't use their own anymore. So it was a big mess that showed how important it is to be careful with the environment, especially when digging for shiny rock. Sunod kasi the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. So this is located in the North Pacific Ocean. This vast accumulation of marine debris, primarily consisting of plastic waste, highlights the global issue of marine pollution and its impacts on marine life and ecosystems. So have you ever wondered kung asa ni nagtapok ang mga plastic waste na gipanglabay nato sa water bodies? So nagtapok din siya dira sa North Pacific Ocean, na gitawag nilang the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. So why man naabot sa North Pacific Ocean ang atong mga hugaw? So that is because our ocean is big circular currents na gitawag nato na gyres. So this acts like a slow-moving whirlpools. So these currents gather up all the floating trash and keep it swirling around in one place. Mao nagpile up ang atong mga basura dito. So this garbage patch is a big problem kaya this endangers marine life sa atong water bodies. So this hurts them physically. They can get tangled up in bigger pieces of trash like nets or ropes, which can hurt them or make it hard for them to move. So makakaon sad sila og mga plastics na ilang pagtuo kay pagkaon to nila. So we all need to be careful with our trash, recycle more, and use less plastic so we can keep our oceans clean and safe for all the sea creatures.
Hello. By the way, my report is all about environmental consequences of pollution. First, first of environmental consequences is the degradation of ecosystem. This is about the destruction of the coral reef and also the deforestation, which through dynamite fishing,
our ecosystem or our coral reef are destroyed, many people use dynamites to destroy our sea, all our coral reef. The second is the lost biodiversity and habitat destruction. This is all about which contributes the major threats to biodiversity. Example of this is the hunting and fire. Through another forest because of the destruction, and we need to prevent this. We will plant more trees to save other animals and we gain more their living and their home. The last one is the climate change implication. We all know climate change affects all regions around the world. As of now, we are encountered the heat like the sun. It's so hot, and sometimes in the month of December we feel cold and rainy days like that. Next is about the impacts health of humans. First, respiratory disease from air pollution. Respiratory disease, example of that are cardiovascular disease, chronic disease, and chronic kidney disease. These are diseases which we encountered inside our body because of the air pollution. It can also give us difficult in breathing. Next is the waterborne illnesses and contamination related health issue. These caused by recreational or drinking water contaminated by disease causing microbes. And the last one is all about the long-term health risk, which is example cancer and neurological disorders. We all know that cancer has no cure. Some people die because of cancer due to their stage and they can survive.
Now let's tackle about the regulatory framework and mitigation strategies for environmental problems. So key legislation addressing different types of pollution. So daghan og mga balaod na nag-exist para sa kasaganahan sa atong environment. Pero naglista ra kog 5. These are common acts uban ani kay makita nato sa atong barangay na gipambuhat nila to maintain the cleanliness of our surroundings. So, una kay ang Clean Air of Republic Act 8749. So, nag-regulate sa mga emissions gikan sa mga sakyanan, pabrika o uban pa na mga tinubdan sa pollution. So, sunod kay si Clean Water of Republic Act 9275. So, nag-regulate sa paglabay sa mga hugaw o pollutants ngadto sa tubig sapa, suba o sa dagat. So, sunod kay si Ecological Solid Waste Management of Republic Act 9003. So, nag-promote sa mga waste like sa pag-recycle, sa pag-compost o pag-segregate. So, sunod kay si Philippine Mining Act of 1995 under the Republic Act of 7942. So, kani nga balaod kay naghatag og mga conditions and regulations sa pagmina aron masigurado nga ang environment dili madaot. So, prevention ni sa nahitabo aton sa mga copper mining disaster. So, sunod kay si National Integrated Protected Area System or the NIPAS of Republic Act of 7586. So, mao ni na balaod ang nagprotect sa atong biodiversity o natural resources aron masiguro ang ilang pagpadayon. So, example ng mga lugar kay ang national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, marine reserves, and etc. Proceed ta kay pollution prevention and control measures. So, technologies for reducing emissions and waste. So, here are some examples of innovative technologies that can help protect our environment o ma-maintain ang clean and healthy nga palibot. So, air pollution control technologies. So this includes emission control devices such as scrubbers, catalytic converters, and particulate matter filters to reduce air pollutants from industrial processes and vehicles. Sunod kasi wastewater treatment system. So employ various technologies such as biological treatment, chemical oxidation, and membrane filtration to remove contaminants from wastewater before discharge. So the solid waste management technologies. So this includes recycling, composting, and waste to energy technologies to reduce the volume of solid waste and minimize environmental impacts. So sustainable practices in industry, agriculture, and transportation. So mao ni ang isa sa mga gipambuhat ron sa mga tao para ma-maintain ang kalimpyo o ka-healthy sa atong palibot. So adopting cleaner production methods, resource efficiency measures, and pollution prevention techniques can reduce emissions and waste generation in industries. So implementing sustainable agriculture practices such as organic farming, integrated pest management, and soil conservation helps minimize agricultural pollution from pesticides, fertilizers, and soil erosion. So lastly, promoting public transportation, electric vehicles, and non-motorized modes of transport, as well as improving fuel quality and vehicle efficiency can reduce emissions and congestions related to pollution. So, community involvement and public awareness campaigns. So, promoting environmental literacy and awareness through formal education programs and public campaigns and community workshops, providing training and technical assistance to communities, local authorities, and industry stakeholders on pollution prevention and environmental management practices. Engaging local communities in monitoring environmental quality and reporting pollution incidents can help identify pollution hotspots and inform decision making. Lastly, supporting grassroots movements, environmental NGOs, and citizen-led initiatives advocating for stronger environmental regulations, pollution control measures, and sustainable development practices. So, to summarize everything, today's environmental problems such as climate change, pollution, and biodiversity loss are deeply interconnected and primarily driven by human activities. So, pollution affects air, water, and soil quality, posing health risks and harming ecosystem. And see biodiversity loss due to habitat destruction and pollution. This reduces ecosystems resilience. So, addressing these challenges requires global cooperation, sustainable practices, and increased public awareness and education.